It's not a sport when the relation between effort and reward does not exist. It's not a sport when success is already guaranteed. And it's not a sport if it doesn't matter if you lose. That is a quote by Pep Guardiola of Manchester City Football Club in Manchester, England, which is one of the teams that is participating or is invited to participate in the European Super League. The European Super League is a competition of European clubs, the best ones in the world, that will compete week in and week out instead of competitions such as the English Premier League, La Liga, which is the Spanish league, or European competitions such as the Champions League and Europa League. My proposition is that the European Super League, as a soccer fan, should absolutely never exist. And my three arguments are that it takes away money from the other leagues and clubs that are involved in those leagues, such as Burnley FC of England, a smaller team in the top flight division. And it also removes clubs involved from other competitions and leagues, as they will not allow to anymore play in the Champions League and Europa League, as well as even in their own leagues. And also, it destroys the experience of competition for the sport and for the fans. My first argument is the European Super League takes away money from other clubs and leagues. As of now, through TV deals from finishing in a high place in the league, currently in the English Premier League, clubs make an annual revenue of over 100 million euros, and that's I'm talking for the top 6 clubs that will be involved and be leaving the Premier League for the European Super League. And in total, per year, big clubs in England combined generate over €1 billion for the league and provide that money through TV deals to the other teams in the league, because the fans of those smaller teams watch the games between the big teams and the small teams. And that's according to Sky Sports News. Without this potential money that they could be losing, the small clubs will have no buying power in buying players in the transfer market. They won't be able to support the players they currently have on higher wages, because they will all want to be joining this Super League and the teams that are in it in order to make the highest salary possible and enjoy the highest competition in the sport. This is why that's a huge problem. My second argument is the European Super League takes the largest clubs in the world out of their league equations, as well as European competitions such as the Champions League and Europa League, which are designed for clubs that place high in their own national leagues to join those leagues for higher competition. For example, the Champions League is the highest watched sporting event yearly in the world, with over 250 million viewers in total throughout the year. Current US viewership of the top 6 clubs and the Champions League weekly is about 25 million people, according to NBC Sports Network. Without this viewership in their own leagues, with the absence of the bigger clubs, the league will be ruined. The whole point of the league is to provide competition between the top teams and the bottom teams, whether that includes relegation or not. Without that competition, football's not football anymore, and by football I mean soccer. And for my third argument, if the European Super League is formed, it would take away the sense of competition for the teams involved, but also for the teams that are not involved. What I mean by this is the teams that join the European Super League will play each other week in, week out. There will be no Champions League. There will be no qualifying for the best competition in the world. And that takes away the competition sense of it. That takes away the excitement of the league. For example, in the English Premier League, the top 5 teams that finish in the league each year get to play in the Champions League the next season. That gives the fight. There's an incentive to do well in the league. But with the Super League, the top teams that would have been in the Champions League, or might not based on their performance in the year before, will be playing each other week in and week out. It gets boring. There's no competition anymore. It's always the best players versus the best teams all the time. The small teams never even get a sniff of the competition. They don't get a chance. The English football pyramid, for example, consists of 5 top leagues and many different amateur leagues, all vying for one spot to compete in the Premier League, and possibly to earn a place in competitions such as the ones I mentioned, the Champions League and the Europa League. Without that sense of relegation, there's no incentive to do well in the league at all. The bottom teams make as much as the top teams because there will be so much money and the best players will always be there. The leagues across the world will lose viewership like this. There will be no more, it won't feel like soccer anymore. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, as a soccer fan myself, I'd be devastated that even though my team would be involved, my team is Arsenal Football Club from London, England, that also competes in the Premier League, it would be no fun anymore. The point of the Champions League is you get to play the best clubs once a year, twice a year, depending on how well you do. You could play them up to 6 times. But in the English Premier League is so fun to watch. Between the bottom teams, the bottom 10, because the league is consisted of 20 teams total. When my team, who's in the top 6 teams in the league, play one of the bottom 10, it's exciting because you never actually know who's going to win. All the teams are good. This is the beauty of the game. And without that competition, without the competition being that competitive, and there only being a Super League that I essentially would have to watch because I support Arsenal so much and so wholeheartedly, it would be boring. It would make no sense for me to even support my club anymore. And I think, to sum up my argument and debate in total, there was a good quote I found by Paris Saint-Germain midfielder Ander Herrera, who is involved with the team that's going to be in the Super League from the French division. And he said, "I believe in an improved Champions League, but not in the rich stealing what the people created, which is nothing other than the most beautiful sport on the planet." Thank you.